On September 4th, 2025, Hollow Knight Silksong finally launched and nobody bought it. Not because there wasn't any interest in the game, but because everyone wanted to play it. So much so that Steam's, PlayStation's, and Nintendo's eShops were overloaded and crashed from people trying to buy the game. But the road to get there has not been easy. Unlike most cases, however, this hardship didn't fall on the developers, but on the players. You see, Hollow Knight Silksong was one of the most anticipated games of all time, but the way it got to that point was incredibly unusual. Team Cherry, the devs making the game, followed the marketing strategy of near complete radio silence. But instead of diminishing the excitement around the game, this led to astronomical hype being built around it. Some fans formed a borderline cult-like behavior regarding it, even going as far as sacrificing members of the Silksong subreddit in the name of it releasing. We're here to talk about everything regarding Silksong, its announcement, its development, its delays, and this weird culture that has been created around it. So sit back, relax, and let me tell you the story of Silksong's bizarre 7-year development. Our story begins in 2014 when Team Cherry, a small indie studio, would upload a Kickstarter for their upcoming game, Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight would be this beautiful hand-drawn Metroidvania set in a world full of these adorable little bugs. Upon closer inspection of the Kickstarter's stretch goals, we can see that after crossing $50,000, Team Cherry promised us a Wii U port of Hollow Knight. A port that we never got. It's been 11 years, Team Cherry, you really need to pick up the pace. Debatably more important was the promise of a second playable character with its own unique moveset. When the game launched in 2017, that second character was nowhere to be found. That was to be expected, however, as that character was part of the DLCs planned to launch after the game's release. But when Hollow Knight's final DLC, Godmaster, became available on August 23, 2018, exactly 6 years before Concord's launch, mind you, that second playable character DLC was still missing. Hollow Knight was a massive success. Critically acclaimed and selling a staggering 15 million copies, Hollow Knight is a monumental achievement for a team of just 3 people. But with this type of success comes pressure. Pressure of matching the quality of their previous work, which is a tall order when your previous work is Hollow Knight, and before we can even start that conversation, there is the pressure of answering what's next. What is Team Cherry cooking now? Well, on Valentine's Day 2019, we finally got our answer. The reason we never got the second playable character DLC was because it became Hollow Knight Silksong, a fully fledged sequel to Hollow Knight coming to every available console that's not the Wii U. The devs themselves confirmed that the planned Hornet DLC had so much new stuff and was so different to the base game that they had to turn it into a full game. 2019 would go fairly smoothly in regards to information about the game becoming publicly available. We got a steady stream of news and even a playable demo at E3 2019, which left a very good impression to anybody that played it. But with 2020 rolling around, things slowed down a bit. This is obviously the year the pandemic hit, and while we don't know how much of an effect it had on Team Cherry, it surely must have put a damper on things. The updates we got on the game were reduced dramatically, and when we did get them, they were not shared in traditional ways. In July of 2020, Team Cherry decided to play a game. They posted a series of cryptic riddles on Twitter and Discord, and when solved, they would lead fans to the reveal of brand new NPC characters. One of the articles covering these riddles mentions how Silksong is expected to release within the year. That article being published 5 years ago. And that was about it for that year. Other than an Edge magazine feature in December, Team Cherry did not reveal a lot of info on the game in 2020. But 2021 is where the fun really begun, and when I say fun, I mean misery and despair. 2021 would be a year of almost complete radio silence from Team Cherry. That radio silence being broken only for the devs to inform us that it will in fact not be broken. This is where things take a weird turn. Usually when a game doesn't have a lot of updates regarding its development, excitement levels for it gradually drop. Out of sight, out of mind, as they say. Let's take Fair Games for example. Announced in 2023, no updates for 2 years, cancelled in 2025, and nobody cared. But not only did excitement levels not drop for Silksong in 2021, they started growing to a point that they got out of control. Fans started looking for Silksong news anywhere they could. PlayStation State of Play? Where's Silksong? Xbox Showcase? Where's Silksong? Nintendo Direct? Where's Silksong? Intellivision Amico Show? Where is it, Tommy Tallarico? This cycle was created where a new showcase event would be announced, there would be absolutely no indication of Silksong showing up, fans would get excited anyways, and eventually get disappointed when Silksong would inevitably no-show again. This phenomenon caused the birth of the clown memes, which was a way for the community to poke fun at themselves. Up until very recently, the Silksong subreddit was littered with clown memes where redditors would mock themselves for even believing that they would get Silksong news. It got to a point where newcomers would make posts asking why this is happening. Even gaming news outlets picked up on this, although it could have just been a slow news day. This would also be the year the YouTube channel Daily Silksong News was created, where every day for over 1600 days, a YouTuber would post Daily Silksong News. Without fail, for the past 4 years, every day this channel posted, and for nearly all of those days, there were no news to report. It just comes to show just how much the community wanted this game. And it materialized with an award, as Silksong won the award for most anticipated game in the 2021 Unity Awards, despite it getting no official updates during that year. Team Cherry even broke their silence to say it can't be too much longer, surely. Oh, but it will be way longer. Despite hindsight being 2020, the reason Team Cherry made this statement is that they probably knew something that we didn't. With 2022 rolling around, all eyes were on Nintendo's Indie World Showcase. Surely, with a statement like that, Silksong must be there. Well, on the 11th of May 2022, Silksong was once again missing. And again, its mere absence broke news. All hopes were dashed, and Silksong looked far away from release. But then, almost exactly 1 month later, an Xbox Showcase of all places showed a new trailer for Silksong, as well as announcing that the game would be available on Game Pass from day one. That wasn't even the big announcement. The big announcement came a bit later, when the show's presenter said that every game that made an appearance on the show was targeting a 12-month release window. This announcement was sort of a curse in disguise for Team Cherry. While it did send fan hype into overdrive, it also meant that there was a hard deadline for the release of the game. And in the months leading up to that deadline, Team Cherry went right back to radio silence. Fans started fearing that the team might not meet that deadline, and that would be confirmed on the 10th of May 2023 when it was officially announced that Silksong would not be able to be released by June of that year, despite that being Team Cherry's initial goal. Even more importantly, no release date was actually given for the game. Silksong was delayed indefinitely. As any reasonable person in this situation, fans started crashing out. The clown memes were back in full force, but they weren't enough. The Silksong subreddit was flooded with posts asking when the game would finally release. To combat this, the mods came up with a cunning plan: Silkposting. Silkposting was the encouragement of fans to make posts with the purpose of spreading funny misinformation. Here's an example: Silksong will be unreleased unless you subscribe to the channel. I never said it would be a good example. And while most of these posts are indeed funny, they also worked like a coping mechanism for the community. News about the game was sparse, and fans almost single-handedly kept their excitement alive by creating fake news about it. It's an incredible level of dedication shown to a game that didn't even have a release date, but this is how much goodwill Hollow Knight had created. The last game I covered on the channel was Concord, which also had a long development cycle, and the difference in fan perception and excitement is staggering. Complete polar opposites. 2024 would come and go without any updates. Fans still kept themselves entertained with Silkposting, but all this started to feel a bit hopeless. Silksong destined to join the likes of Half-Life 3 as a sequel that would just never come out. But everything would change in January of 2025 when William Pellen, one of the co-creators of Hollow Knight and Silksong, changed his profile picture to that of a cake. However, the cake is a lie. Wait, no, sorry, wrong unreleased sequel community. This sent the Silksong community into a frenzy because on the very next day, the Nintendo Switch 2 was announced. So instead of clowns and Silkposting, now the subreddit was filled with cakes and dates. Eventually, it was discovered that the cake pointed to a recipe of a Brooklyn blackout cake posted on the site Bon Appetit on the 2nd of April 2024. So the community figured out that this must point to some kind of Nintendo show that will include Hollow Knight on that date. And lo and behold, it happened. On the April 2nd, 2025 direct regarding the Switch 2, it was there. Silksong was there. It was there for 3 seconds, but still. And not only was it there, but it was also confirmed that it was coming in 2025. This was the first official footage given to the public since 2022, and the first release window given since 2023. While these news made fans ecstatic, it also made them a bit anxious. Once again, no actual release date was given. And while Team Cherry did confirm that the game was coming before the 2025 holiday season and that it was not tied to another console's launch, I don't think anybody could blame fans for being a bit skeptical. They had to take matters into their own hands. And this time, neither clown memes nor Silkposting would be enough. No, they needed something more. They needed a sacrifice. Multiple, in fact. Through a democratic election, 4 brave members of the Silksong subreddit were chosen by the people in order to be banned to ensure the game's release. I mean, I can't say that it didn't work because on August 21st, 2025, Silksong finally got its official release date, September 4th, 2025. Through its official channel, Team Cherry showcased brand new gameplay, and the best part, it would have a playable demo at this year's Gamescom. People finally got their hands on the demo after 6 long years of waiting, and it's the same. It's the exact same as the E3 2019 demo. What were they doing for 6 years? Yeah, so in an effort to not show too much of their game, Team Cherry sent the exact same demo they sent over 6 years ago, only with spruced up graphics. But this won't really matter. Everything was set for the game's launch. However, before that, Team Cherry decided to answer some of our burning questions. And they didn't just give those answers to anybody, they gave them to Jason Schreier, a man that has done multiple exposés on games that went through development hell. We would be finally getting our answers. So after all this time, the big reason why Silksong was delayed for so long was nothing. There was no reason. Team Cherry is just a small team trying to make a massive game. According to them, they loved every bit of developing Silksong, and while they are aware of the anticipation built by the game's community, they didn't want to give out constant updates so not to disappoint fans. And that's about it. You know, for once, it's nice that a game that's in development for so long can have a happy ending. What a story it's been though. I don't think I've ever seen so much anticipation being built for something that isn't actively trying to build it. Well, actually, there is one more time. That's right, you just clicked on a stealth video about CM Punk's return to wrestling after 7.5 long years, and wait, no, please come back. Silksong's development has been a wild journey. Fans almost single-handedly made it one of the most anticipated games of all time, with seemingly minimal marketing effort given by the actual team making it. We may never see something like this ever again. Sure, fans will find another game to eagerly wait for, but I very much doubt a game with virtually zero marketing will receive this type of hype ever again. And some of you watching this video may think I'm over-exaggerating, but just look at the numbers. Even before Silksong released, other games were rushing to change their release dates in hopes of avoiding the black hole of attention Silksong would create. When it did launch, it made 3 out of 4 major gaming consoles eShops crash, and it peaked at over 550,000 concurrent players on Steam alone. And despite the game being cracked on day 1, people sailing the high seas are encouraging others to not pirate the game. It's amazing to see a small indie team doing a lot better than most AAA games today. What an incredible journey this has been. I think if we can take one lesson from it is that Team Cherry, maybe wait just a bit more before announcing your next game. Thank you for watching this video, and thank you for 600 subscribers as well. The support you've shown on these past few videos has been mind-blowing, and I can't thank you enough for supporting the channel. If you want to keep going, you can click here to watch how Concord became gaming's most expensive failure, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.